Don't use this as an excuse to beat yourself up, but do expect more of yourself. When you raise your standards in your life about what life looks like, then you raise everything around you. So this is kind of a cool little hack. If you started doing these 10 things, or let's say 5 of these 10 things, you're going to notice a ripple effect in other areas of your life, which is super exciting. You're not even going to have to work for it in those areas.
You are listening to the Decluttering Club podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Mueller, and it's my mission to equip women to declutter their homes, their time, and their lives so that they have energy for what matters most.
You are listening to the Decluttering Club podcast, episode number 81. We're going to talk about 10 things to maintain every day. Every day. Yes, I said every day. So we are talking about maintenance this month inside the Decluttering Club membership. And maintenance, I'm telling you guys, maintenance is so important. In fact, if you up your maintenance game, I would venture to say that you could cut your clutter problems in half. This is a very unscientific calculation, but seriously, one of the biggest problems I see is that people aren't doing enough maintenance. Now, don't get triggered here. Like, this is not judgmental. I'm just saying that you don't realize the benefit of maintenance. Maybe you were never taught how to do maintenance. You think maintenance is hard and horrible and dreadful and torturous. And that's why you're not doing it. And so if I can convince you to add a little bit more maintenance into your life, then your lives will get easier. You're going to like your home more. It's going to be easier to find things, and you're going to feel more organized. Oh my goodness, this is amazing. So here are 10 things that I think everybody, every grown adult should be doing every day. These are 10 maintenance activities. We're going to talk about what they are, and I'm going to give you some ideas about what this looks like. Now, please, as always, I don't have to give you this caveat, but I'm going to. This does not apply every day for the rest of your life. So if you are unwell, if you are sick, if you are ill, if you are in the middle of a crisis, you're probably not going to do all these things. So please do not think that I mean that you have to do this every single day for the rest of your life, no matter what. And you're a failure if you don't, because that's not the way we work around here. This is tough love in that opposite direction. You need to give yourself grace. However, if it is a regular run-of-the-mill Tuesday and you're not in crisis, then how about we try and hit all of these things? And try, again, is the operative word here. If you're doing only 1 or 2 of these things, then maybe you start with trying for 3. And then you can add on 4. And before you know it, you will be doing all 10. So make this fit your life. Don't use this as an excuse to beat yourself up, but do expect more of yourself. When you raise your standards in your life about what life looks like, then you raise everything around you. So this is kind of a cool little hack. If you started doing these 10 things, or let's say 5 of these 10 things, you're going to notice a ripple effect in other areas of your life, which is super exciting. You're not even going to have to work for it in those areas. So what are the 10 things? Number 1, this one I'm working on with my kids, and it is the trash. Do not leave trash. We have a whole episode on this, right? Don't walk away. The trash needs to go out on schedule. That means it needs to leave your house. Don't just tie it up and set it next to the door. No, it needs to get out. Whatever trash that you generate when you're sitting on the couch or you unwrap something, throw it away immediately. Can't say this often enough. This will solve so many problems. I want you to do it. I want you to teach your kids to do it. I want you to get mad at people in your house who are not doing this. Okay, maybe not, but maybe. I don't know. If we all just recognize trash, then you would never have to walk around collecting trash. You just wouldn't, because you would have handled it when it was generated. So I'm going to say this is really not going to take up any more time in your life. Now, maybe tying up the kitchen trash or the bathroom trash, we're going to give that like 1 or 2 minutes, or maybe it's 5. But in general, the handling of the trash should add 0 time to your life. Number 1, trash. Recycling as well. Okay. Number 2, dishes. Do not leave dishes. Dishes should not be left. If it's Thanksgiving, you get a pass, right? You're probably not going to wash all the Thanksgiving dishes at once. But in general, regular everyday dishes, let's just take care of them. That means they don't sit on the coffee table. They don't sit next to your bed. They don't sit out on the kitchen counter. Handle them. Even if that means they go in the dishwasher or it means that they get stacked neatly next to the sink and then you do them in the morning, but do something with them. Don't just leave them randomly scattered around. Number 3, you're going to have to decide exactly what this looks like. But number 3 is like, I want you to do a little bit of maintenance for your laundry or for your clothing. And there's lots of ways that this could look. This could very simply look like you hanging up your pajamas in the morning when you take them off, if you're planning to wear them again. Just dealing with the pajamas, putting the dirty laundry in the laundry hamper, hanging up the bath towel after you have used it. Some form of maintenance there. It doesn't mean I think you should do a load of laundry every day, although maybe you want to. If you are in the membership, we have a whole course on laundry. If you're in the VIP membership, go watch that. That will help you design an entire laundry system. But do some form of maintenance on your laundry every day. Maybe it's that you fold that laundry that was in the dryer from the day before. Something like that. Some minor task every day, not a major one. You're going to leave that for other times, but a minor task dealing with your clothing every day. Number 4, paper. I want you to do maintenance on paper every day. And again, could be a 1-minute thing. It could be you open the mail every day. It could be you recycle those envelopes every day. Maybe it's that you throw out the junk mail every day. Something every day. Maybe it's that you bring in whatever, maybe you have papers in your car that you came home with, or your kids brought home papers. Maintenance every day. And again, we're talking 1 minute here. I want you to get into the habit of doing this every day, this little bit of maintenance. And then when you have more time to dedicate, and hopefully you have an office day in place, when you have more time, now you have much less to do because you've already handled the junk mail. You've already handled the permission slip or opening the mail. Paper every day. Very, very small amount. Number 5, I want you to do some kind of maintenance in the bathroom every day. You might call this bathroom zero. And again, if you're in the membership, you know about our kitchen zero, which can extend out to in other areas of your home. But maybe it's as simple as putting the cap back on the toothpaste or hanging up the bath towel, or maybe it's wiping down the sink, putting away the makeup after you use them. This is tiny. But when you spend a little bit of time doing this maintenance in your bathroom every day, it's going to add up in a beautiful way. Amazing. Like such a difference that this can make. Number 6 is the car. I want you to do some maintenance on your car every day. Now, don't go and change the oil. That's not what we're talking about here, but bring in the things that you brought home. Did you go shopping? Is there a bag in the back seat? Have the shoes started to pile up? Is there like stuff in the trunk that you never got around to? Take one trip to your car every day and get rid of that stuff. I have a little trash can in my car. It hooks onto the back of one of the front seats. And so if somebody has a tissue or a gum wrapper, it doesn't go on the floor. It can go in that trash bin. Well, that trash bin needs to get emptied. Now, I don't empty that every day. Absolutely not. But that's something that you can do. So some form of maintenance on your car. People tell me things like, oh my gosh, my car is so hard. It's so hard for me. Well, I get it. That's because you don't do any maintenance for a month. And then you're shocked when you look at it and you're like, oh my gosh, it looks like I live here. Well, it's kind of because you do. So just start. One extra trip per day to bring something in. Maybe you've got water bottles, and every time you leave the house, you bring a water bottle, and now it's in the car. And then over time, you've got 10 water bottles in the car. Just bring those in the house. Little bit of maintenance every day on the car. Number 7, this list is getting long. And again, I just want to take a minute to remind you, we're not going to do this all. We're not going to go from doing none of these things or one or two of them to doing all of them at once. I want you to pace yourself. I want you to add on one at a time for at least, let's say, 1 to 2 weeks before you intentionally add on another one. Back to the regularly scheduled content. Living area. So whatever your living area is, if you have a family room, a living room, it's a den, is a lounge, where do you hang out in your home? That can use 1 minute of maintenance. Maybe it's 5, but this is things like tidying up the coffee table. In my house, we have a lot of throw blankets. My kids really love all the blankets. They like to sit on the couch with a blanket. So we just fold the blankets and put them there neatly. Maybe it is putting back the throw pillows. Maybe there's a couple dishes or cups or water bottles in your living area. spend the time to take those out of the living area and put them where they need to be. So like 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes in your living area, getting it back to the way you want it. And again, maybe there's more that you want to do there. So this isn't about deep cleaning the living area and decluttering it completely. It's just about what one little thing can I do in my living area today. And again, with all of these things, it's really helpful if you pick a time of day or not necessarily like a time on the clock, but like a slot in your day. So maybe you tidy up the living room right before you go to bed every day. That would be a great time to do it. Or maybe you realize I'm super tired. I don't want to do that right before I go to bed. So I really need to move that up earlier. Maybe you do that before you make dinner. Can you find one thing to do in the living room before you make dinner that will just leave the living room looking more picked up? Moving on to number 8. I know people have mixed feelings about this, but I feel strongly about it. And this is my podcast, so I'm going to tell you. Number 8 is your bed. I want you to make your bed every day. I want you to make it easy to make your bed. We're not talking about making it look like a magazine, but can you just pull the sheets and blankets up and smooth them out and put the pillows in place? Something like that. A little bit of time, again, 1 minute on your bed. Now, why? Why? Well, because when you come back to it later, it doesn't look like this cocoon, this nest thing going on. It's like, oh, my bed is waiting for me. Your bed should be a place of peace and rest for you. And if you're not taking care of it, it's really hard for that to happen. We want this to be a peaceful area. So spend a little time, make the bed, could make it in the morning when you get up. Maybe you make it later on. Maybe you make it in the afternoon. I don't even really care. I just want you to spend some time tidying up your bed on a regular basis. Now, this might mean maybe you had too many pillows. Maybe you have too many blankets. Is it hard to make the bed? If so, let's do a little troubleshooting. Let's figure out how can we make this easier? What do we need to do so that you're willing to do this every day? Maybe your partner gets up after you, and so you can't make the bed when you get up. Well, maybe you can recruit them. You can say, hey, I'd love to have this happen. What do you think? What can we do so that this happens every day? Have a discussion, do some troubleshooting, do some brainstorming. This one you will love when you come and you're tired at the end of the day and you're ready to go to bed and your bed is all there nicely organized. It looks great and you can collapse into bed, but it's not like a disaster. That could be really a really enjoyable thing. Number 9, I want you to do some maintenance every day on anything that comes in the house. So this could be kind of combined with the car. So if you're bringing things home in your car, this is incoming. This is like shopping. I want you to bring the packages in. I want you to take them out of the bags, but it might also not be the car. Maybe it's boxes that you have ordered. Things have arrived. Do not let them sit. Oh my gosh, this happens so often. People buy things and then the boxes show up a couple days later and you never get around to emptying the boxes. And now you're like, now you feel bad because you spent money on stuff and you're not opening it. Or maybe you did open it, but you didn't deal with the boxes. Make sure you deal with those boxes. Refer to the prior podcast episode that I did about get rid of those boxes. I'm telling you, you do not need those boxes. But I want you to deal with the stuff that comes in the house. And it could be shopping. It could be groceries. Maybe it's papers. Maybe it's something that somebody gave back to you that they borrowed. Deal with that every day. And again, we're talking 1 minute here. I'm not saying that you should deal with all of the incoming stuff. If that's too much, let's just deal with a little bit of it. But get in the habit. Don't let that stuff sit. That is the key here. And number 10, the last and actually probably the most important thing that I want you to maintain every single day, my friends, it is your body. I want you to take care of your body. That means you take a shower, you get dressed, you brush your teeth, you brush your hair, you feed yourself, you get some downtime, you get some fresh air. All of those things are incredibly important. And sometimes we don't want to do them. It feels like a lot of work. I remember at one point I was taking care of some kids who were not my own. And they said to me, well, why should we get dressed? It's like Saturday. And I was like, oh my gosh, we need to get dressed. Now, there's nothing wrong with a pajama day every now and then, but in general, we need to be doing these things because when we don't, that is when we start to kind of slip into, nothing matters. If you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not feeding yourself nutritious food, you are not going to feel well. It will catch up with you. So these are signals that we send to our brains that say, hey, I'm important. This matters. I care about myself. It's unbelievably important. And maybe for you, this is kind of a struggle. Well, I would venture to say that is that much more important for you to insist on doing these things, even if you're not really that excited by it. We just want to do it anyway. We want to make it a habit, and we want to do it anyway, especially if it's very small and very, very simple. We want to do these things because it has a compounding effect. Can you imagine, if you didn't brush your hair for a week? At the end of that week, it's going to be pretty hard. So it has a compounding effect if you don't eat anything nutritious for a month, it's going to catch up with you. You're going to feel pretty awful. Well, it also has a compounding effect on the positive side. So if you do take care of yourself, if you are consuming nutritious food, if you are getting dressed and brushing your teeth and all of those things, it's going to have a compounding effect to the good. And you are going to start to feel better about yourself. You're going to start to feel more healthy. All of these things really, really add up. I know it's common for new moms to have a really hard time getting a shower in. And I get it, right? I totally get it. I have so much compassion. And if you have a new baby, I wish I could come to your house and hold your baby so you could take a shower or take a nap or both. But I do also think that sometimes we don't think that we can fit this stuff in. And we're like, I just don't have time for it. And I want to say this is just the most important thing that you need to do. So if that means that your baby has to cry for 5 minutes because you're going to take a shower, I'm going to say, we're going to let the baby cry. It'll be okay. You're going to feel refreshed. You're going to be able to come back and be a better mom because you took that 5 minutes for yourself. So please, 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 you have to prioritize this and you have to insist on it and neglect that at your own peril. So again, the more you attend to these little things, and this feels like a long list. Again, if you're not doing some of these things, this could feel overwhelming. But I'm talking, can we dedicate 1 minute a day to each of these 10 things? Can you stack them over time? Could you take 3 months to get to where you're doing the whole list? If you can, this will build up and it will grow. And it will compound over time, and you're going to feel better about your house. Your house is going to be easier to take care of. And most importantly, you're going to feel more organized. When you feel organized in your head, you're going to be able to do other things. This is just the foundation for living your life. And when you have these things under control, now you're going to be able to go out and tackle the other things that come up for you in your life, because you're going to be like, I got this. I'm organized. I have this stuff on lock. It's going to give you energy left over to do other things in your life. So give that a try. Those are the 10 things I recommend that you maintain every single day. Let me know how it goes. I'll see you next week, everyone. Take care.
That's all we have for you today. If you enjoyed this podcast, please leave us a review. It would really help us to get the word out. And if you'd like to continue your decluttering journey with us, find us on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube at Decluttering Club, or on our website at thedeclutteringclub.com.